Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with NOS 230. I want to go ahead and go over a video on Lesson 15, which is creating and managing Active Directory groups and organizational units. All right, and what we want to do first is I'm going to show you guys this planner I made. All right, this is for your Active Directory. There's your 4 machines up top, 2 servers, 2 clients. All right, that just kind of like shows you, what's going on, your IP address, usernames, pretty much standard. These are all the services that we're going to install, or roles and services. Here's some of your Active Directory information. Your DHCP scope is 30.1 through 30.254. You're going to exclude .1 through .6, which that's your all 4 of your machines plus 2 more. Just to have open in case you need them later. .1 is your default gateway out to the internet. DNS, of course it's right here, but your DNS is 30.3 on server 12. And your domain, make sure you get this right, is your 3 initials, lab.local. So it could be ntm lab.local, something like that. All right, this week, the only thing that's different is your organizational units. This is where you're going to group certain Active Directory groups and other things. Eventually, we're going to set up group policies. We'll assign those to certain organizational units. But you'll have a parent employees organizational unit. Underneath that will be departments, and underneath that will be their 4 user groups or organizational units. All right, inside of those, you'll have 4 actual groups, and then those groups will have these users. All right, so 1 user per group. All right. So, and I'll have this attached to in Moodle also. All right, so I've logged into NetLabs. Here's my Server 2012 machine. I'm going to undock it so I can make it full screen. Kind of like that. All right, let's hit this. It does that sometimes. The resolution doesn't like it. Let's see. Close it down. Undock it again. Oh, it doesn't like it. All right, well, let me go ahead and just use this then. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look. All right, I've got file and storage services role already installed. All right, what we need to do first is to set up DHCP. I would set up DNS, but I'm going to let Active Directory set up the DNS for us, so we don't have to set up that role. All right, so let's go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. All right, we want to set up DHCP server. All right. It should only take a second to install. Once this is done, we'll install Active Directory, promote this server to a domain controller, and then continue on our way. All right, so that role is installed. Now what we have to do though, complete the DHCP configuration, click that link. All right. That's why it's good to have all this already written down, what you're going to do with it right there, so you know how to configure it. All right, so let's hit commit. It's going to do some configuration. All right, so our scope's going to be .30.1 through 30.254. All right, so let's do this. Open up DHCP manager. I'm going to right click this DHCP. All right. And if it wasn't running, it'd give you the X with a red background. All right, so let's go ahead and set up a scope. New scope. All right, the scope name for us, we can just do local. You can just name it 80 local. All right, so configuration settings for a DHCP server, 192.168. This is the starting IP address, which is 30.1. Okay, the last one's going to be 92.168.30.254. And you see it down at the bottom. Just make sure this is right. It's got a CIDR of 24, and the default the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, which means we have 256 possible addresses, and then 0 is used up as the network address, and 255 is used up as the broadcast address. So the only usable addresses we can use are 1 through 254. All right, and let's exclude our .1 through .6 for our servers. So 192.168.30.1 and 192.168.30.6. All right, click add. It adds that. Excluded IP range. All right, so we have 6 addresses we can use right there. All right, you can adjust this as needed, but it's set to 8 days by default for the least duration of the IP of the DHCP addresses. All right, you can configure extra options for your DHCP server. We're going to do that. All right, to add an IP address for a router used by clients. All right, so I just said 192.168.30.1. That's our default gateway. So that's our router out to the internet. All right, right there. Click next. All right, DNS domain name and DNS servers. Okay, we're going to set it up with ntm lab.local. That's our parent domain. Take these 3 initials will be your initials, however. All right. The server name, I'm just going to put the IP address in there since we don't have DNS set up already. 168.30. And our DNS server is going to be server 12 or SRV 2012. Here, let me see if I can go up. All right, server 2012 R2, which is .3. All right, and it's going to validate that. IP address 192.168.30.3 is not a valid DNS address, which DNS isn't set up yet. That's fine. Do you still want to add it? Yes. All right. Win servers, we're not going to use that. All right. Do you want to activate this scope now? Go ahead and click yes or continue. All right. So now our scope right here. There's our pool. There's our pool up top. There's our excluded addresses. All right. Reservations. Don't have any reservations yet. Or I'm sorry, leases. Don't have any leases yet. All right. All right, now, so let's go ahead and set up Active Directory. Check our notifications. All right, those are fine. Close those out. All right. So let's add a role. All right, make sure you don't click the top one because that's Active Directory Certificate Services. Click the second one down, Active Directory Domain Services. All right. Choose the default. Should have Group Policy Management checked. Click Install. And we're gonna make sure it's gonna go through a little self-test and make sure everything's it verifies everything's gonna work correctly. After this is done, we're going to get a flag up here under notifications that actually says we have to promote the server to a domain controller. So we'll wait and do that. And while we're waiting for this to install completely, you can go to client 1, click in there, log in. You only need to set up one of these computers for this lab to pick up the DHCP server and log on to Active Directory, so client 1's fine. Go into File Explorer, go to Properties. Right down here is where we're going to set this up for a domain controller. Alright, we'll do that. Alright, still doing its thing. It shouldn't take too long. And just remember, coming back to this is a good reference. Alright, so we're using Windows 10 that's spelled wrong. Windows 10 edu1. There's the IP address. Alright, you know the administrator account. Alright, we'll be using that. Alright, so our Active Directory role is installed. Up here, notifications. Promote the server to a domain controller. We have to do that. Alright, so we're going to set up a new for us because this is a brand new installation. Alright, root domain name is going to be your 3 initials, lab.local. Don't spell it incorrectly. Alright, we need to set up a password for the directory services restore mode. Just use this default password that we've come up with. And don't worry about this delegation for DNS server. It cannot be created. That's fine. It's going to make us a NetBIOS domain name. You can remember that. Alright, that's NTM Lab. Alright, I'm just updating this spreadsheet so you guys will know exactly what to look at. Alright, so click next. Alright, it's going to do a review of your selections. You can review that if you want to. Click next again. It's going to validate your system. Alright, all prerequisite checks passed successfully. Click install. And it's actually going to set up DNS for us. Alright, it tells us we're going to be signed out. It's going to log us out and restart. And as soon as this the server 1 boots back up, I'm going to log into it from this computer, or log into the Active Directory rather. Okay, so our server 2012 R2 is restarted. If you notice now, there's our NetBIOS name of our domain, and then / our username we're logging on with, which is the administrator in this case. That tells you that you're logging on to the Active Directory domain controller. Alright, so that's going to come up. Now what we want to do too, that should be done. Now we can go to client 1 and log in. Make sure you put in your domain. which don't put it in there right there like I did it. Lab.local. Oh, I know exactly what I didn't do. Let's go do this. All right, before you do that, go to, let's go here, right click your network, properties, change adapter settings. This is still set up for a static IP address. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's hit OK. Let's hit close. And let's go down to search, type in CMD, ipconfig, /all. All right. See how we're not set up yet, so that's an issue. All right, so let's do this. All right, so see right here, one thing we got to do also is right click on that, authorize it. All right, and then just wait. All right, so we get a green check. We don't need the IP version 6, but green IP version 4 check. All right, if we click on scope, IP address leases, we just got to assign an IP address on this other computer. All right, I'm going to click no for that. All right, so let's go right here. Type in command. ipconfig /all. All right, now we can see DNS suffix, ntmlab.local, DHCP enabled, yes. All right, it assigned us the first lease it could out of that network we have, because we've reserved 30.1 through 30.6 for our servers and other things. All right, there's our subnet mask, DHCP server, and default gateway. All right. Okay, so we know everything's right. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and go to File Explorer again. Click on this PC, right click it. All right, see how we have work group? Let's go to change settings. Change. Now if we put in our domain. All right. So for right now, all we have is an administrator account set up. All right. It should say welcome to the NTM Lab local domain, or your initials should be there. All right, would you like to restart? Sure. All right, restart now. All right. Big thing, that's not a big issue. You definitely want to be able to see this though. All right, you see the IP address, you see the name, fully qualified domain name, win10 edu1.ntmlab.local. Lease expiration should be 8 days from now. All right. So we've got that. All right. So that's good. Let's see what our flag says. Internal error occurred while installing or removing roles and features. I have to troubleshoot that for a second. It might have gone away though. All right, so what we don't want to do now is, so we've set up DHCP. We know that it's assigning an IP address to one of our hosts. All right, DNS is set up, and I can show you guys DNS also. Remember, we didn't set this up like we did on the other lab. All right, server 2012 r2.ntmlab.local. All right, forward lookup zone. All right, so it set up this. All right, so ntmlab.local. You see how we actually have we actually have two records. That's the domain controller. This is our computer. All right, let's see if we reverse lookup zones. If you hadn't set one of those up, we would need to set that up. All right, not for this lab. We don't really need to. But just know if you set up a DNF forward lookup zone, it's actually going to set this one up and set up another one for you. So you need to make sure you know you might have to remove one or the other. All right, but that's perfect. Just verify that that's in there. All right, next thing we want to do, let's go to Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers. All right, so under Computers, there's our computer that we joined to the Active Directory domain. All right, so users. Here's our default users. Okay, let's go to Tools again. Let's see. Active Directory Administrator Center. I'll just show you guys this for a second. We haven't really used a lot of this yet, but that's that. What else we got? The big thing we're going to use is where's group policy? Group policy management. We're going to use that one, which there it is right there. All right. I'm going to use that. And then over here, all right, so we're in this domain. If we want to do a new organizational unit, we can do that, or we can do a new group, or we can do a new user. All right, so what we want to do here, put these users in here. All right. Go ahead and move this over here, move this right here. All right, our first one is John Smith. All right, logon name, that you should type in. It'd be your first initial, your first name and last name. All right, J. Smith. All right, password, just use the default password. All right, password never expires. All right. All right, so there's John Smith. You could copy it. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to go ahead and just do new user. All right, Lisa L. Jones. All right, again, password never expires. can automate this process. We'll do that eventually, but for now I'm just typing in these users. M. Myers. Alright, password doesn't expire. And last one is Donald. Alright, so that's that. Password. Alright, so there's our 4 users. Alright, what we can do also is let's do a new, where's our group? New group. Alright, so our 4 groups are finance, marketing, legal, and executive. So finance, we can leave that as a global. Alright, next one's marketing. Legal. And finally, the last group is executive. Alright. Alright, then we want to go ahead and do our organizational units. So let's right click that, new organizational unit. Alright. Alright, employees is going to be the parent. Alright, it makes it right down there. Make sure you click on employees. Alright, new organizational unit. Departments. Alright, inside departments, you're going to have finance users. Alright, and also make sure you don't put it inside of finance users either. Make sure you put it in departments, the next one. Alright. Marketing users. Alright, another one. Legal users. And finally, the last one's going to be executive users. Alright. Alright, so we got those. Now, what I want to do is, let's go to users. Let's see what I can do here. Alright, so on this planner we have John Smith goes to finance, Lisa goes to marketing, and so on. I'm going to try to put all those guys in their correct groups. Alright, so let's add a member. So we want to add J. Smith. Check names. Alright, there you go. Okay. Marketing. Lisa, so L Jones, add that one. Okay, legal. All right, so Mike Myers, check the names. And finally, executive is going to be Donald. All right, let's check the names. Now, if you spell it incorrectly, it's not going to auto-populate that account either, so you'll know for a fact it's probably typed incorrectly. All right, so we got those. Now, inside of financial users, I want to, let's see, let's go here. Let's see if we can move this to finance users. All right. All right, so finance users has the security group finance, which has John Smith in it. All right. And marketing is going to get marketing users is going to get marketing. Legal users, where is it? There it is, legal. And executive. All right. So if we look in legal, we'll have the legal security group and Mike Myers is in there. All right. So for now, that's fine. We can do some moving around later. So I need a screenshot that shows that you've created this organization unit, that one, these four, and if you click on one, just show me that it has what it has in it. All right, if I click on that, kind of like this. All right, so you need to do 4 screenshots. Show me finance users. It'll look just like this, or just say finance. All right, marketing, legal, and executive users. Show me not only the security group that's inside of this organizational unit, but also the user that's inside of there. So just like this is fine. I'm going to do a control print screen for myself. All right, and I'll keep track of this. All right, there's that. All right, so I need that, and then also I need, well, actually, you know what? Give me 4 screenshots, each showing the 4 each user in its correct organizational unit and security group, and that'll be all. Just those 4 screenshots that look just like this. All right, and that's all you need to turn in. And just remember, I won't be in class Monday or Wednesday due to training, so this will be completed online. All right, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching.